G'day guys, we're back again today and we have Brett and his young fella here, and Brett has his 335 GT, which you can see in the background here, and we'll show you a little bit more about later. Basically, he's got pretty light mods to it. It's just a tune, a tail shaft,
and Herod intercooler.
So previously, Brett's been a best of 1130 at 123, 124 mile an hour.
Been 124.
Right? It's been 124. So that was previous to fitting the Herod intercooler, and today we're basically doing before and after testing and seeing how the car goes. We're in reasonably warm conditions today. I think the density altitude is around 2,100 feet, which is pretty average. I think the 11.3 that you did that night was in winter, wasn't it? Like
yeah, it was in winter. About 200 foot DA.
About 200 feet DA when he ran the 11.3. So we've got about 2,000 extra feet of poor air density to fight. But we're hoping that this intercooler allows us to bring the quality of the air back down to somewhere reasonable, and we can run a pretty similar time given the conditions. So good luck today. This is actually the street series. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but basically we're racing today. It's not just a test and tune, but there is a little bit of testing beforehand. We're going to muck around, maybe do some data logs and have a look and see how we go. Anyway, let's get to it.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering negativity.
Alright, so Brett's just getting the numbers put on his car now by the officials. Basically, he's got his license, he's taken it over there, he's all checked in, and we're going to go line up now over at the staging lanes and make our first pass. Alright, so we're about to start here. Brett's going to go for his first run. Temperature's still a little bit warm, but I think the DA is around 2,000 feet. Mike and his ISF did just PB, and so did Cole in his, I think it's a BF NA. Both those cars are NA, this is supercharged, so it probably won't pick up as much from the DA as the NA cars do. However, we are doing some data logs. I feel like I've got something on my eye. No. We are doing some data logs, and we're going to see what the intake air temps are like, the Delta. So we've just been informed that there's oil right in the middle of the track in the left lane. So yeah, let's not get the left lane. So Brett's made his first pass, and unfortunately he clipped the rev limiter in first gear, which caused his shift to slow down dramatically, as you probably saw. He's going to have another go. Hopefully this time we'll get time to put the data logs on and have a look at the IATs and get a little bit of an idea of what the intake air temp's doing, and yeah, see how we go. Alright, so as we can see here, Brett's gone 169 to the 60 foot, which is probably about a tenth slower than his best time so far. Still went 740 to the 8th at 96 mile per hour, which is still very strong, especially when you consider that he did clip the limiter in first gear. Now this equated to an 11.5 at 122 mile per hour still, which is actually very strong for the temperature of the day and the air density, humidity, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, hopefully we can see a PB today, which currently is 11.30 at 123, I believe. So 2 tenths, we need to pick up 2 tenths. All right, so Brett's going back again. This is quite a hot lap. It's only probably been 10 minutes since the last pass. There is a bit of heat in the car, so it's a perfect test for this intercooler to see how the IATs are and the delta between the ambient air temp and the intake air temps. So let's have a look. Here we go again.
Yeah.
hit that second gear. Alright guys, so we've got Brett's time slips here. These are the last 2 runs that he's done. As you can see, so the 11.5 and the 11.5 here, almost identical. Mile per hour is within a tenth. 60 foot is within 2 1,000ths. 330 within 3 1,000ths. That is actually ridiculous. There may have been a shift before the line here at the 93 mile per hour. This is the 8th half track mile per hour. But look, you can see the times. There was almost side by side identical run, which goes to show that the intercooler is doing its job, and we were able to hot lap it within maybe 10 to 15 minutes between runs, which for a supercharged car would usually,
16 minutes.
Especially with EFI, you would usually 16 minutes on the time slip, 16 minutes verified. So usually you would see
At least a tenth.
usually it'd be slower because
It's a tenth. Normally it's a tenth slower.
unlike old cars, these things have NOx sensors, intake air temp sensors, and they pull a lot of timing from hot coolant, intake air temp, and NOx. So less timing in a boosted car is significantly less power. This obviously isn't doing it because we have this intercooler on here, and it's obviously for something like this where you're racing to be consistent, not so much the fastest, consistent and fast. Perfect modification. And no, Harry didn't give us this for free. There was no discounts. Actually, I think you bought a second hand, didn't you? You didn't even buy it from Harry Motorsport. Well, there you go. Cool. Yeah, we're not selling anything. Alright guys, I'm going to try and show you the logs here. Hopefully the screen isn't too reflective so you can see it. Basically, what we're seeing here is something that's pretty cool. So we've got an intake air temperature over here. That's 55 degrees. Currently we're at the start of the run here at 0 kilometers per hour, idling at 700 RPM. As we progress through the run, you will notice that 55 degrees remains 55 degrees the entire way through the pass, all the way to the end here. Right, and then after the pass, at the end of the pass, it actually drops to 54 degrees. It's to 54 degrees Celsius. So we did not see a single degree temp rise over the course of the pass, and just as we let off, we actually saw 54. So and continuing on after the pass, driving back to the pits, all the way back to the pits, we only saw 2 degrees extra. And honestly, Brett wouldn't have been going more than 60 k's an hour on the way back. In fact, here you can see it was actually 31 k's an hour at this point. So what do you reckon, Brett? You think that's pretty good? I think.
Yeah, it's pretty damn consistent.
Oh, I think so. And considering the time slips that we had, within
9 thousandths of a second.
Within 9 thousandths of a second between the time slips. There was 16 minutes between runs, hot lapped in February in Queensland. I'm pretty impressed with that, to be honest. Anyway, Brett's going to go for another run. We'll hot lap it again, probably even a hotter lap than last time. And yeah, see how it goes. Get those logs going. So it's been about 25 minutes since the first run. We've done 2 runs. They were both 11.50s with like almost identical times. And we're going to go for a third and see if we can back it up. Brett might even hit second gear this time. Hopefully. It's something we've been having a little bit of trouble with, but hopefully we hit second gear. We can see if we can get into the 11.30s. And I think it is possible, which is as quick as the car has gone in the dead of winter without an intercooler. Round 3. Alright, so there was exactly 26 minutes between those passes, and what happened, right, is sitting there with the car off, the intake air temp did climb to 61 degrees. Actually, sorry, it climbed to 65 degrees. So hopefully you guys can see there, without too much glare on the screen, just over here, 65 degrees, coolant temperature 99, just above it. Once Brett turned the car on, that number actually decreased, as you can see there, back down to 61. Started the pass about there. Well, it's about a second gear in the pass there. So we're up to, we're back down actually a degree. Once we started the pass and started forcing the air through, we've gone back down to 61 degrees. This did not climb throughout the duration of the run. As you can see, just clicking through the gears here. I'll fast forward a little bit, still 60, 61 after we let off, and then that's where it remained until the car was back in the staging lanes and turned off. So from the time that we turned the engine on, went to the actual staging, from the time we turned the engine on in the staging lanes and actually went out, did our burnout, we did drop 4 or 5 degrees. The duration of the run dropped 1 degree and then held that for the rest of the run. Came back up 1 degree as we slowed back down on the return to the staging lane. So as you can see, again, quite efficient, and it is working. The run was another 11.5. Only half a mile per hour difference between the second and the third run. So that's 3 runs, all within 11.5, all within half a mile per hour. Pretty impressive. One thing I should mention, there was 2 degrees of timing pulled on that run due to the IATs reaching 60 degrees, and 2 degrees and a supercharged engine will pull a little bit of power. Obviously not too much. This engine looks like it's getting pretty close to MBT even with 98. If you don't know what MBT is, it's max brake torque, and it's the point of timing at which the engine will create the most torque theoretically. And going past that point, adding more timing after that point, you will not see or start losing torque and power. So basically what we're saying is that this car's performing very well for 98. May not gain so much from adding timing with the 85, but more so gain power from the increased charge cooling and chamber cooling effects. So anyway, but that's another episode. So yeah, pretty happy with that though. Alright guys, we're here with Quinton. He's about to race Brett, and this is his FG XR6 Turbo. How about you tell us what you've got done to this bad boy, Quinton?
So pretty much it's stock bottom end deal. It's just got head studs, valve springs, 1000cc injectors. It's got a single 535 wardrobe pump, 3584R, X-Force 3.5 inch exhaust. Yep. The plastic cooler.
Yeah, okay. What stage?
The 1400 horsepower one.
Oh, right.
Big,
yeah, okay.
100 mil thick.
Big one?
Yeah, big one.
Righto. And how, you said you're running about 25 pound of boost or something,
yeah,
right?
it's 25 pound on
Righto.
the 85.
That's the Pulsar?
Yep. It hasn't got a whole lot of timing in it, so
yeah,
it's a little bit safer on that side.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, you still ran 134 mile an hour?
Yeah, just shy of 134.
Yeah, that's so 134 mile per hour. I'm pretty sure it was a low 11, wasn't it?
Yeah, it went 11.1.
11.1 at 134. So Brett has his work cut out for him. And what are these tyres you got on the back, dude?
So they're a 275 40 18 Hero drag rating.
Hero drag rating on a 275 40 18. Right. Now, I was pretty surprised initially when I touched these. They are soft.
Yeah.
They definitely feel softer than the ET Street R Mickey Thompsons that I have on mine. And yeah, interesting to see how it goes. You launching second gear?
Yeah, second.
Yeah, so second gear with the ZF. Quinton's running 3.7 diff gears, I believe.
Yes, yes.
Right, so it is quite short for the ZF with a turbo. It has a ridiculous amount of power. So he will be launching in second gear, and he'll probably be racing Brett in his GT gear. So anyway, good luck, mate.
Thank you. Right.
Cheers. You reckon, Brett, you're going to gap him?
No, I don't think it'll be a gap.
Both low 11-second cars. Let's see how this goes. Brett's just run an 1141 at 123 with a PB half track mile per hour on a for some reason it's flipping the limiter on first and second shift. There might be an issue there, we're not sure, but every run for the last 5 or 6 runs it's hit the limiter. But we're still hit 97 mile per hour to the 8th. Very quick, and that's what's that? That's less than a tenth of its PB with a first to second limited clip. And I think it's safe to say the car is quicker with the intercooler fitted. We just need a clean pass, and I think it'll probably go maybe 11:20. I would say at least. Pretty happy with that? I would be happy with that.
I'm happy with that.
Oh, Mike.
Left, right. Sorry. Right. 11.4. Did you see my mile per hour?
Yeah, bro.
Holy crap.
Nearly 113.
Jesus. 450s at 112 knots.
You probably hear me in the video. I saw that on 12.95 or something. I was like, oh my goodness. How good's that?
It was strong. In full, right through 5th gear, it just bloody went.
Yeah.
This thing's going to be a weapon in winter.
That thing reels me in.
Oh, really? It reeled you in?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I was what? I was like, you're a car. I was 2 cars out of half. I was like, oh yeah, half track, and I was like, slowly reeling, and we were getting to 1,000 foot, and I got to your back door. I was like, oh, Leah, to your back door to 1,000 foot, and then yeah, at the finish line, I was
just can't. A car in it, or
no,
less than a car at the end?
Yeah. He probably would have been my back door, maybe.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's a good run.
It was only 8,000. Yeah.
I should have put the GoPro in the car.
8,000 per second. So
8,000 per second between them. Ah, damn. Next time I'll put the GoPro inside the car.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Mike, as well. That's really good. 1250.
We'll put some more fuel out of it so you get some more mile.
The next video, you'll probably see Mike gap the GT. He'll probably put headers on his car and be mine. What do you reckon, Mike?
Headers at 50 horsepower at the wheels at 40.
Yeah, I'm in trouble, I think. So your goal in the ISF, 1225 with the headers.
Yeah, 117.5 mile per hour.
117.5, righto. We'll keep documenting this. And Mike, what's your channel called? It's Mike ISF.
Mike 010 ISF.
Mike 010 ISF. That's 010 or 010?
010.
Yeah, Mike 010 ISF. So check him out. He's got an ISF he's building. I'll throw a few clips in here, you've probably seen it. But yeah, it's pretty quick and it's probably going to beat the GT at some point. I'm a little bit worried, but I'm sure we'll get some good races in. I think it'd be a very close race either way. It'd be pretty fun.
I think that'd be really good at roll racing.
Yeah, well, it's got 8-speed auto, isn't it?
From 100 k's up, it is just really
8-speed.
Yeah.
I need an 8-speed. Alright guys, thanks for watching that one. Hopefully you saw the benefits of a intercooler for a supercharged application. I know that we did clip the limiter from first to second every time. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. But every run was 11.5 with an 11.4 after that. So the quickest this car's ever been in the dead cold of winter, perfect air, was 11.30. So it was like 11.35 or something like that. So we got pretty well the same mile per hour, less than a tenth slower with a big miss shift from first to second, which is where you drop a lot of ET when you make mistakes in the first part of the track. So as we saw from these logs, definitely worth doing the upgrade. And the more that you modify your Miami or any V8 or any car, even with the turbo for that matter, the more you modify it, the more boost pressure you run, the more heat you're going to generate, and the more efficiency you're going to require to keep that air mass and the air density, to keep that air density going into your cylinders, keep it cool, meaning you can keep more timing in it, keep your power, keep the ECU from pulling all those precious degrees of timing with their IAT and ECT corrections and things like that. Definitely worth looking into. Again, I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling intercoolers. I don't actually personally know Rob Herod at all, but this is just the kit that happened to present itself, and Brett and I decided that we wanted to do a comparison. Both him and I are pretty impressed. IAT is sitting rock solid, and the IAT Delta is probably 30 degrees or less, which is pretty good. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more of this content. I'm keen to do more back-to-back tests. I did just send off 3 custom cam profiles to a cam manufacturer so we could do some back-to-back testing on the dyno and some more testing at the strip. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, all those good things. Help me get my channel out there, and yeah, so hopefully we can do more of these videos. Thanks guys. Thank you, mate. 60
560, 600 RPM, so about here.